Hello, this is the voice of Rob Zelenak with the Fridley Historical Society, and today is Thursday, May 14th, 2026, and today I have the pleasure of having a conversation with a longtime Fridley educator and resident and friend of the Fridley Historical Society, Dr. Lee Switzer. Lee, my first question for you, would you be able to tell us a little bit about yourself and your time before coming to Fridley and your impressions, if any, of Fridley at that time?
Well, thanks for the opportunity to speak with you. But I was born and raised in North Dakota on a farm. Broke. I wasn't the only one broke. Everyone was poor. But mother was determined I was to go to college. And I went to a little college, Mayville, state teachers in North Dakota. And I was there 2 years, and then I taught 1 year in Michigan, North Dakota. And then I knew that in order to complete my education, I was going to have to get help. So I joined the Army for the GI Bill. And I went in the Army and spent 2 years there, which worked out fine. They sent me to Korea, and they treated me, I thought, fairly well, best they could under the conditions. And come back from Korea, and then I had the GI Bill. So tuition was $20 a quarter at Brigham Young University, Provo, Utah. I was on the first Greyhound out of Hamliton, went to Brigham Young. Graduated there in '58. And should I continue with that, or you want to? I'll give you a little bit of the background.
Sure.
By the way, I taught. The 1 year I taught at Michigan, North Dakota. Before I went in the Army, I had the biggest surprise of my life. The day I reported for duty, in a classroom, there were 80 eyes looking at me.
Wow.
7th and 8th graders.
Wow.
And so that gets me up to move to the Army. Go ahead.
So applying for your job at Fridley,
Yes.
your thoughts going on, what was Fridley, the community, and the schools like at the start of your career?
So I was fortunate, and I say fortunate, to work for John Hanson.
The longtime superintendent.
Smartest man I ever knew.
Yeah.
And he was. He was always a step ahead of me. Not in everything, but he was a brilliant, really a good educator. When I came to Fridley, I was hired by him. He came the same year I did in 1959. And Jim Pappas. I was hired by Jim Pappas and John Hanson.
I also see here that you also had a job as a Fridley tax assessor.
Oh, yes.
Could you tell us just a little bit about that?
Well, my first year at teaching here, we had more kids than room. So in the 6th grade, they put me over at Parkview, and because we had so many kids, and they taught half the kids in the morning, half the kids in the afternoon. And I had the morning class. No responsibilities in the afternoon. So the city assessor got a hold of me and said I'd give you a job in the afternoon, and I took it. And I always had 2 jobs until I got my principal job.
What were the contributions to Fridley that you are most proud of during your time in our community?
Well, I tried to make sure that every child got a fair break.
Okay. The district and community really started to grow during the 1960s. Would you be able to talk about the memories and changes and challenges during that time?
Well, the first school that was, they had the old high school. I don't know when that was built. The one that was destroyed in the tornado. But they built.
I believe it was built in 1950.
Yeah, it could have been.
Yeah.
I just don't know. But Parkview School, where I was assigned, was 1 year old when I got there. And I got there in 59, so it was built in 58. Dean Coleman was a teaching principal. Jim Pappas was in charge of the elementary program. That was the, so I taught in the morning and worked with the city assessor in the afternoon. Always worked 2 jobs till I got the big one.
Right, and I know in the 2012 interview series that you participated in, you mentioned that you felt that Parkview community was very close-knit and that the people in the area were starting out in life with their families and they liked their school and the location of their school, and everybody walked to their school. And I think that they felt they had a good staff at the school and they are extremely supportive of the school. I like that line.
Oh, okay. There was never a child bused into Parkview. They walked from as far as a mile, but there never was a child when I was there that was ever bused into Parkview. And as I said, I got there in 59.
May 6, 1965.
Yes.
A very famous date in Twin Cities history, the infamous tornadoes. Would you be able to please walk us through your memories of that day?
Well, sure. We knew that something was coming, but I had no idea what was coming. And then it hit around 7 o'clock in the evening. There was a program at the junior high. And also the elementary school had a wing that I was principal of that wing, elementary wing at the middle, what's called the middle school. And I was at home with my family, and that storm went through. And after I got them all settled, I decided I needed to go to school because I had a lot of responsibilities there. I got up there in my old Chevrolet, parked in front of the school, and when I went to go home, I had 3 flat tires. I picked up, there, you dodged debris to get up there. The Parkview School, the roof of the gym cafeteria had been picked up as one piece. And that storm picked up and thrown against the west side of the school.
Interesting. Now,
and there it was.
What were the biggest challenges for the schools and community after the tornadoes? Did we lose a lot of families with 1/4 of the homes destroyed?
I don't think they lost a family.
Okay. Did a lot of people move?
This is where John Anson shone. You know,
Right.
He knew what was needed. They got the plans. See, Hayes was destroyed, had to be rebuilt. They got the plans, either were given or asked for from Anoka. I believe that Roosevelt School is an identical school to Hayes. And they built that school well. Whoever, I don't know the names offhand. They really built it well. It's as good today as the day it was built. But I can't say that about Riverwood, because Riverwood was a disaster, I think.
Why'd you think that?
I think there was a little slipping going on. And I don't think the contractor was, no, that's opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't, we used to laugh about it. And for everyone to go to the bathroom, faculty bathroom in Riverwood School, you had to go through the principal's office to get there.
Not a good design.
What good planning. Oh,
Maybe that's the reason why they closed in 1979 or whatever
it
it
was
was.
not built well.
Yeah,
It was not built well.
yeah. Well, on the subject of the elementary schools, in the 1970s, there were 6 elementary schools in the Fridley School District, and at that time was the largest school population. What do you remember about Fridley during the 1970s?
Well, we had kids that they took out of the elementary school. They put some in the high school. High school was starting in '63, and I was the principal there in '63. And then in '64, they opened up the middle school for more kids, and I was the principal there. Don Berry was the assistant principal at Hayes, and Mary Larson was the assistant principal at the middle. No, Don was in the middle school, and Mary was at the high school. And kids who had lots of kids, good kids. Fridley was an ideal community for me to come into. Just a wee bit of a story. After I got here and signed, I was offered a half-day principalship when I was teaching at St. Louis Park. And I was at the mindset from the farm back in North Dakota, once you made a deal, you kept at it. So I never went to St. Louis Park. I sometimes think that wouldn't have worked out either way.
How'd you find out about the job at Fridley, having gone from North Dakota to Brigham Young?
I didn't have a job. I went to Barnesville 1 year. Did not like Barnesville. Didn't like it and resigned. And went to school that summer, and coming back, I didn't have a job, and I was married.
Mm-hmm.
So I stopped up here in St. Paul to find out if they had any openings, and they said, well, you a member here? I said, no. I said, well, you better to start there. And I signed up, and that afternoon I went back, and I had a call waiting for me from the Fridley Schools. So out here on Van Buren, or it's not Van Buren, but so I hopped into my car and I went out there and walked in, and was I lucky. There was Jim Pappas, who didn't know me from Adam, but John Hanson did know me.
What did he know you from?
He was the superintendent of schools in Bathgate, North Dakota. My grandma was the postmistress in Bathgate, North Dakota. And John, he stayed there, I don't know, not very long, 2 or 3 years maybe, and then went to Buffalo, where he picked up Dale Miller. He was principal here for a while. And then he came here to Fridley. He started the same year I did.
That's
He
interesting.
was hired maybe a month before I was, before he hired me. I think I'd have got the job regardless of whether I knew him or not, because they needed a teacher.
Sure.
The 1980s, so, we were talking about the elementary schools, and then the school board closed 3 schools,
Yes,
Parkview, Gardena, and Riverwood.
yes,
And then you became principal at Hayes Elementary, where you remained until your retirement.
yes.
So the 1980s, with the shrinking school populations and the budget cuts, what are your memories of the Fridley School District during that time?
Wonderful, wonderful job. I like my job. It's a good job. And what can I say? I had free reign, hire and fire, I guess, if I want to. But Dennis Renz told me one time, he said, you, pointing at me, have the ability to hire.
Wow.
I don't know about it. So, but we had some wonderful teachers. But there was something there you started out with that got by me. What did you ask me again?
About the 1980s?
Just the budget cuts.
Oh, the budget
and
cuts.
The district was shrinking at the time.
Yeah.
Yes, but yes, it was, but it never affected our program at Hayes. Wouldn't allow it. The kids come to school. Some places they charge them different things. Never was a kid ever charged any monies. Now, if they're going to bring that box of clinics, fine. But they were never asked to ever bring anything. School was free.
So, fast forwarding to the 1990s, that decade brought your retirement from the Fridley schools. What are your memories of your final years in Fridley school districts, and any memories from that time period?
Well, yes, we got the National School of Excellence. I don't know if you're aware of that or not.
I think I have read that, yes. Yeah.
And I got to go to Washington, D.C., took my wife, and this is, we were of 200 and some schools in the nation, and we were one of them.
Wow.
And I talked to Dennis one day. I said, Dennis, we got to talk about school. Yeah, he says, pretty good school. I said, Dennis, you got no idea what good of a school you have. I wasn't talking about me. I was talking about every part of the program. And then we became the National School of Excellence. And I had was dined by the governor. Perpich.
Perpich, yeah.
Yes.
Rudy Perpich.
We were on the Capitol grounds listening to the Marine Band, and who swooped in but Rudy Perpich. We got to go out to eat. So I got to sit with Willa on a table of 4, and my wife got to sit with Rudy.
Nice. That's quite a memory.
So how'd you know it was time to retire?
Yes, and when did you retire?
I was kind of forced into it by myself. I probably would still be working. But at the job, we wanted to travel. And we could not travel when I was in the principal's position. So it was one or the other. And we decided that travel is it. And we traveled a lot.
What year did you retire then?
92.
Okay,
Oh,
seniors.
that's 34 years ago.
It's another career life.
Wonderful, wonderful job.
A lot of pride in District 14, I can tell from your memories.
Oh, gosh.
The 21st century has brought about many changes in Fridley and schools. What are your thoughts and impressions of the changes in the last, since the 21st century's begun?
The one thing that I never liked, and I never pushed it, but I never thought that, I thought the teachers should come to school in a condition for kids to respect. In other words, I wanted them to dress. I didn't want them in slacks or never brought it up. But I had a suit and tie on every day I ever worked because I wanted to set an impression to the people that work for me. And but the fact the way and politics has gotten into it's no one ever knew my politics when I was working.
I know a lot of people who stop in at the Fridley History Center come in and they'll see your picture and they'll say, oh yeah, Dr. Switzer, he influenced me, he turned my life around, and
That's a good feeling.
It must bring a lot of pride.
It's a good feeling.
I know you a few years ago you wrote a book,
Yes.
Keeper Between the Ditches.
Yes.
Tell us about.
You've got a copy.
That's right, we have a copy. Tell us a little bit about your book and what inspired you to write your memoirs.
Well, what inspired me was the 3 grandchildren. I've got 3 grandkids. They need to know what my parents went through to get them to where they are today. That's why I wrote it. That book is not written for me, it's written for them. That they can pick that book up anytime and know what life was like back then. But it was a great place and a great area and a great time to grow up.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. I think it was to grow up in Hamliton, North Dakota on a farm, you couldn't have asked for it any better.
So I started my teaching career at Fridley and coaching career, and you became a regular participant right behind my bench.
Yes.
Almost every home game I ever had. How did that start?
Love of the kids, watching them grow, watching them do better. I did the same with wrestling. I did the same with all the sports that I could, I guess. But I thought that you were out there busting your behind, and I still remember Don Myers. He'd get that chest out there and he'd get hold of one of those kids, and just that action alone was inspiring.
Yeah.
But you had the talent, and certainly the others were talented too.
It was inspiring to have you there.
Well, good.
It felt good as a mentor that you were there so often. I could always talk to you before the game.
Yeah.
It felt great.
Yes.
Know how much you were appreciated.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Is there anything that you would like to talk about or that we missed?
Well, I don't think when we got the National School of Excellence, it wasn't me that did that. It was the staff that did that. You know, we took a vote on that as a staff as to whether we should do it or not. I think the doers had it by 1 or 2 votes. The others didn't want to do it. I suppose time-wise and commitment, but they did. They did it well.
You were led to a good place by you.
Oh, well, gee, I got to shake Mrs. Bush's hand.
Barbara Bush or Barbara Bush?
Barbara, yes.
I didn't know that.
Washington.
That's pretty cool. You got to meet Barbara Bush,
Oh, yes.
the great supporter of literacy.
Yeah,
The silver fox, as she was referred to in her family.
she was there, and I thought I invited her to Parkview, and he was coming. You know.
Bush was President George H.W. Bush was going to come.
Well, they were coming with Gorbachev.
Well, that's right, in 1990. That's right.
It was Gorbachev, I think, that got him. I think it was Gorbachev. But they were coming, I knew they were coming to Minneapolis. And I invited her to our school, and I said to myself, I didn't even want to listen. What a coup that would have been if we'd had her at Hayes School. But Hayes is a good, but no, I shouldn't do that. But Parkview is just as good.
Yeah, you know, we still have the building. It's the community center, so you know, at least we still have, you know, the building.
But there was some great families out of there. Oh.
That was really the core of Fridley, wasn't it?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
There were young families with lots of kids everywhere at that
Fertile Flats.
time.
Fertile Flats, and I just read that in your write-up that you say Fridley was sometimes referred to as the Fertile Flats. They were families with 4, 5, 6 children.
Yes.
In addition, when I first came, the family unit was very strong. Very strong.
Very strong. Very strong.
Good.
This country will never return to what it should be or could be until they have a strong family unit. And we've lost that. Which reminds me, I want to hear about the 2 girls.
The 2 girls are doing spectacular.
Just 2?
Got 2. One works for the State Department in Minnesota and Fire Safety. She does their communications. And the other one is a retail merchandising major, and she runs the pro shop at Interlochen Country Club, doing their tennis, fitness, and golf clothing lines and running the show in the pro shop. So they're doing great. And of course, they came through Fridley, so why wouldn't they?
Why wouldn't they? Yeah.
Well, Dr. Switzer, Pat and I, we want to thank you very much on behalf of the Fridley Historical Society for taking a moment and sharing your memories.
I didn't give you a lot much, but I really had to work for 2 men, John Hanson and Dennis. Right, Jim Hedren. Did you know that? Well, you knew Jim.
I knew Jim from, he had retired right when I started.
And you know how he got his scars?
I do not.
They come in on the plane. The man, my understanding, saved his life and lost his.
Interesting.
Well, Fridley's
Yeah,
lucky they saved him.
the airplane. But the fellow that saved Jim Pappas's life, not Jim Pappas, Jim Adrian.
The greatest generation.
Yes, and really,
Yeah.
people in this country have no idea how much they owe that generation.
And
Are we done?
yes, and we thank you again for all your years of work for the Fridley schools and your inspiration to thousands of students.
Thanks.